Finally tracked down Godfather of Good #4, Ron Walker. I'm totally blown out, and I know that you are going to be too. Let's get started.
In the four of us, which again, it was funny to take that picture that day. We're all not just focused on the continent we're on. We have a desire to change the world. And I think the world's worth changing. And I think if you have eyes and you look at it, there's some things that need to be changed. And these four individuals, myself being luckily a part of that group, that's a passion.
Yes.
If you have that as your passion, retirement doesn't exist. There you go. Fantastic. Good to be here with you, Mike.
Thanks, Ron. That's awesome. So it's 10 a.m. over here in Sydney, Australia. Where are you and what time is it?
Right now it's 4:10 in California.
In the afternoon, PM, yeah?
In the afternoon, yeah.
Yeah, no worries. And what part of California are you in?
Northern California, up we're by near a lot of the fires.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So every night I do rain dances to bring the rain down on the fire.
The Indian rain dance, taught by the original local.
There you go.
That's good. Well, we've been busy. We had we started off with Bernard Percy. He was in New York and right in the hot spot there, you know.
Oh yeah.
And then Bernard really opened up a can of worms. He just happened to mention the Godfathers of Good.
Oh yeah.
I was like, the what? So I got a hold of this photograph, which you've seen the photo now. It's a cracker. And so then I got a hold of Artie Marin, and Artie was just so much fun. We had just a great time on an interview with Artie. And then we went across to John Trim and Wolf. And
Mr. Bruce.
That was something else. That was like, wow. It was pretty cool. I don't know if you saw the preview for it. It's going to be previewed this Saturday, and it was like midnight over there and all dark, and he actually looked like the wolf. It was pretty cool, you know. And I just finished that interview with him, and then I went to bed and I thought, God, how am I going to get a hold of Ron Walker? Because they all three of the other Godfathers, you're the final Godfather of the crew, and I was just like
Godfather #4. One
at a time. I had to track you guys down, you know. And I just finished the interview, and I just got it wrapped up, and I secured it all, and then okay, good. It was everything was saved, and then I think I wrote down, I thought, how am I going to get Ron Walker? And then literally the next morning, I opened up the laptop, and there's an email from you.
Yeah.
And I've just gone, Maureen. She's like, what? Says, come out here. So that was a really good win, you know.
Well, I try to read. I try to embrace the universe, and I picked up your communication somehow.
Well, that's really beautiful. I appreciate it so much. It was just it was a moment. I remember when I opened the emails. Like, wow, that was a moment, you know. So we've got you four guys are all like completely just amazing guys, you know, and pretty well like I'm over here in Australia. The guys call me an old fella all the time. I'm 54. You guys are all pushing 20, 25 years older than me, and I'm looking at your production records, every single one of you, and I think all three of them just says, "Oh, Ron Walker, he's busier than all of us. He's like so productive." And I'm like, are you guys like taking some elixir of life or something? What keeps you guys so fired up as you are?
Well, you know, when I was very fortunate. I grew up in the mountains, and basically probably was skiing before I could walk, and so I just embraced the world around me. Seemed to be energizing me. So I embraced the mountains, and which was great. I played sports, wonderful. But when I found out that you could actually do something to help your mates and I actually read Mr. Hubbard's works, particularly Dianetics. But even without that, I always actually had a fundamental purpose. Sometimes you ask somebody, what's your purpose? And some people go, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Well, I always knew what I wanted to do. There was never been a question in my mind. And even as a kid, I wanted to help people. And I think probably the thing that makes me tick is that with the technology that I've learned, whether it be business technology, individual help tools, everybody's help. You can help everybody. And that basically makes it possible for me to reach around the world, no matter what country. I can go over there and I can meet wonderful people, Australia, Russia, Hungary, it doesn't matter. Everybody is actually somebody you can help. And the majority of people, I find that's very doable. So that's where I get my energy, helping others.
So, yeah, by help, like normally I think, oh God, I haven't got time to help others. I'm too flat out and too exhausted as it is. And then, so you're actually pulling the energy by helping other people.
Interestingly, it is that's the case. It's I think it's a bit Eastern in that sense. I was giving this is to give you an example. I was in a Buddhist monastery, and I was introduced to the head monk who'd been there a long time, 88 years old, and I knew somebody who knew him, so he respected me because of the connection, and so I was having a conversation with him. My daughter-in-law was giving my translator, and I just said, how are you doing? And he says, Mr. Rohn, I'm doing well, but my body is tired, and I have a heart problem. And I said, well, I can understand why it's probably you're a little bit tired, because the heart's important. Would you be open for me to help you? And he looked at me quizzically and he said, yeah, certainly. Yes, Mr. Rohn, I'd be glad. What could you do for me? I said, I'm going to do a simple little thing. And all I want you to do is nod your head, and I'm going to give you something called an assist. And he's sitting in a quite a sophisticated chair as a head monk. And normally you wouldn't touch a monk, except I could, because he granted me the beingness of touching him. And so after about 30 minutes, he just went, oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Now, why that's valuable is because at the moment he got better, I get better. I mean, there's a value in that reach and the connection, no matter where it is. It doesn't have to be, that's just the way the world does work. So what I find is embracing that energy is valuable on both sides of the fence. The more I can help, the more I'm helped.
Totally understood. I think we can end off the interview there. I now understand for the first time what help really means and how you can get so much back from it. I didn't quite spot it before, because I do a lot of setting up with job sites and different projects with the guys and stuff. And unless I leave on a really good note with the guys, I walk away feeling a bit exhausted and a bit run down from it. But if I get the guys to a really good point and show them how they can complete the project, and they're like, oh, great, we're fine, get out of here, you walk away feeling fantastic. It's an exhilarating experience.
Yeah, and also the value of an acknowledgement, both ways. Like if I feel the person has really understood me and how I maybe could be of help, and I say, I think we totally understand each other. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Wow.
And so it plays back and forth. And as you're familiar, if one actually uses the communication skills that one can, it's invaluable, because most people don't take time to make sure they're understood. So if each of us take time to make sure we're understood, we can strengthen each other.
Absolutely. Well, thank you.
Sure.
Beautiful. Well, I'm actually, I've been spending as much time as possible to get some research up on what you're doing and what your mission is and your business projects and so forth. And I started going through your website, and we'll talk. Oopsie days, I just got a leave on the side there. Yeah,
No
so
worries.
I spent some time going through your site, and I was quite excited about what I was reading. And there's one part there you're talking about that. Oh, you mentioned like internet marketing, and your website doesn't look like an internet marketer's website. It looks like it's a consultant's website, even like an engineer would have a similar type of a website, you know. And I was like, this doesn't look like an internet marketing website. But then just below it, you said using an internet marketing program to get new clients that you wouldn't normally get, or patients, and then how to have your existing clients or patients coming back for more. So I'm going to prong you for a few free tips on this interview, and I'm hoping that you can shed just a little bit of light on that one for us.
Sure. Well, first of all, I have my oldest son works with me, and he is quite trained on marketing, PR, and social media. And obviously everybody, if they're in the business world today, they're going to need a website, but the website's just, the front door, and so you have to reach out, of course, and communicate to your target markets, and you got to know who those are, and that could be something you have to survey. But the old school is still at play, and the old school at play is your service. And what I have found I think in your website you notice I've worked with some very large companies and very small companies, but this datum is true no matter how big or small you are. And I mainly deal with people that want to help people. So if you're dealing with people that want to help people, and you help them, and you really care about them, and you give them a service above and beyond what they imagine, and then you say, how do you feel about the service we provided? And if the person's response says, it's incredible, thank you so much. I mean, we're booming, we're getting new patients, we're getting new customers. And then the simple communication after that is, I love helping people, their friends, their family members, other companies that you may or may not know, because wouldn't you want them to do better as well? Of course they do. And if you're dealing with a certain population that loves to actually help other people, whether it be a small company or a large Fortune 500 CEO, they'll say, I have some friends I need you to meet. The multiplication factor right there, in all by itself, without even touching social media, is mind-boggling. But you have to be patient and willing to do that.
Yes.
And a lot of companies don't.
That's right. It's kind of, if you spend the time to do that, you build your own economy. You control your own economy, and you build like an ecological system, which is everyone working, exchanging together and helping each other, and then you don't become affected by the economic crises, or not so much to become more bulletproof because you're
right. The others, absolutely. And the other side of it is, I pick my clients. I don't take every client, because some people actually are hard to help. And you'll notice that within the first 90 days of any action you have with them. And it'll actually affect your company. So you got to get rid of them, actually.
Yes.
Give the check back, wish them the best, get on.
A pat on the back. Yeah.
Part of it is also
learn that lesson a lot. Yes.
Yeah, part of it is also quality control yourself. In other words, I make sure that whoever companies I'm working with, I have them have a quality control aspect, that they interview their customers to make sure they've provided the service, or if they haven't, what could they do to improve it? And actually, I enforce that action so that is completed. And most customers, as a result of that, even if there were some mistakes, go, I can't believe the fact that you're willing to ask me that question. And sometimes it's not easy for me to get them trained to do so, but
yes.
Yeah, but it's even true for ourselves. I mean, if you think about it, how many things could I improve about myself, and then actually lay it out so that can be a task?
Correct. Yeah. Thank you. Wow. It is quite. We'll talk a little bit later about the business analysis, because I completed that last night. I was just going through it, thought, wow, and I went, I'm going to take it. And yeah, there's some pretty tough questions there, actually. I thought, am I going to be honest with this question or not? So, and it's really
I
good.
can tell you were definitely honest.
Although, don't show my results on this interview,
No.
please. We're just going to cut that bit right out. But it was the thing that I found was really interesting, because Maureen and I are both business partners, and we pretty well, like 24/7, we can just be talking about the business at any time. And we do get a lot of like time to go and do bushwalking or just to the beach or whatever as well. But business is such a part of our life that we're continually talking about and trying to work out things and solve problems together. And after doing the form last night and completing all the questions, I didn't say a word about it, And then Maureen woke up this morning. It must have been about, it was like 5:30, and she starts asking me all these questions and different ideas and different solutions at the way we could tackle the business or look at the business or structure the way we approach our clients and our future expansion and so forth, and also cutting back on the company to become more efficient at what we're doing and really what is it that we do. And I was just like, it was as if she'd been answering the questions herself, and she was trying to answer the questions herself because I'd taken the test, And I just smiled. I said, you know what? I said, go on, and I gave her the website. It says, just do the form, fill in the form, because it's going to be really interesting what comes up. And she just sat there straight away, did the whole lot, and she went straight back to sleep.
Well, I'll tell you, the reason I started my consulting company, just to give you that perspective, is I grew up, my father was a Marine, a military man, and he also was an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And in a small community. But I also sort of grew up with him. I would go over and he says, can you wash the windows? And so I do basic things, inventory. I see, so here's how you take inventory. Here's how you make change. And so as I grew up and began to observe people, I think if I asked the question to most people, I say, do you like to watch people? And Mike, what do you think? Do you like to watch people?
I do, actually. I walked in the street and I just watch people all over the place. That's what I do all day long.
Right, and it's a common, it's not uncommon. I like to watch people. I say, good. So here's what I've noticed as I've been watching people most of my life. I said, I would watch people, and I would notice, they would start out usually as they're growing up, vibrant, excited, alive. Even in business people, they start their company, they get going. It's, oh my gosh. But as I've noticed over the years, people's balance go out of whack. And balance is key if you want to maintain quality relationships at home, quality relationships with friends, your own personal health. It's so key. And that's what most people are looking for. They're looking for a good balance. Mm-hmm. So if I'm working with people in New York City, for example, in Fortune 500 companies, they're whacked out. In most cases, their balance is just horrible. They're just trying to survive. Mm. They're making, in some cases, a million or more in their pocket, but they're maxed.
Yes.
And in many cases, there could be on a second relationship, divorced twice, divorced whatever. Sometimes awkward relationships with the children. I'm going, that's not okay. So I wanted to bring something into the game saying, okay, I'm going to not only help you flourish with prosperity, but I want to also make you accountable as a business person because you're so vital to our community. So that's part of the reason that, the analysis helps that. And then not only do I want to make sure the person succeeds in business, but other areas of their life, because it's a key point.
Definitely. Yeah, it's quite hard to, if you've had a bad weekend, it's quite hard to arrive enthusiastically on a Monday morning.
There you go. And I guarantee you all your staff know it.
Yes. Yeah, that's for sure. Let the boss just wander in for a couple of days, and the production, but the production through the whole company gets affected because it's not just I'm at work now, switch on and be at work, and I'm at home now, switch on and be at home. There's got to be a balance between the two. And,
absolutely.
And I do know as an executive trying to achieve that, it's a tough gig. It is.
That's right. It's the discipline required to be successful in life is something.
Yes.
And I think we sometimes misestimate what it takes. And so what my responsibility is to help people estimate what it really does take and then engineer it to be achieved.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
It's really real solid design into the future for not working yourself into a trap, but working yourself into something that's an ideal situation, an ideal life.
Yeah, I figured out there's two fundamental things to measure in life. It's very complicated, very mathematical, but there's two ways to measure, two measures of success.
Wow.
And it comes down to this, and I hope you're a mathematician, because here's the bottom line. If the more of this and the less of this on a daily basis, we're doing okay.
I'm just going to write that formula down. All right. Albert Einstein, we just cracked your code. I'm sorry. This is the way life really is.
MC squared right there.
That's it. Yeah. Wow. What a formula. Okay. Beautiful. Thank you. Now, so actually, that's really good, because I was going to ask you, there's the four of you guys are just like so different in what you do. And all four of you are just so flat out. And I found talking that, the one thing in common I found talking with the four of you, that you're always talking about the future and how to take situations and bring them into the future all the time. It's quite a different viewpoint from what like talking to normal people. I talk to a lot of people around Sydney. I'm on a motorbike, we're on buildings all over the city, and I'm with people and talking to different people all day. I generally meet one or two brand new people every day of my life, and I don't get as much as normally they like to talk about old times, they reminisce about old times and so forth, but you guys are all talking about the future. And I was thinking about, generally when you're getting in your, I'm going to sort of push on this a little bit, because when you're getting in your 70s and pushing towards your 80s, isn't it time to slow down a bit and unwind and take it easy, and it's sort of semi-retire, and it shouldn't that be the plan?
No. I grew up in a world where that was the subject. It's my father, my wife's parents, they're all very successful. They played the golf, they'd fished, and the game was accumulate the nice house, the boat, the nice cars, and have a place so that you could be on the lake and blah, blah, blah. And that never really interested me at all. I said, well, that's nice, and that's nice. And maybe it's because to some degree I had that, but I thought there's got to be something more to the game, especially when I kept watching people and noticed their frowning was increasing and their smiling was decreasing, no matter their wealth. I have a client that when I met her, she said to me, Ron, I can't possibly spend all the money I have. I have a private jet, I have pilots, I have this, I have that, but I'm not happy. My balance is shot. Although I could buy anything I wanted, but I can't buy smiles.
Yes.
It's impossible. So part of the issue is, okay, so if your destination is an improved future, how many ways can you improve the future? And that's what's also common. If I talk to Artie or Bruce or Bernard, the commonality of my even liking them, or vice versa, we're friends, but the reason we're friends is there's a common purpose in their every which way, and every one of us is very different and very unique, but the common purpose is the desire to change a future culture to be better. And in the four of us, which again, it was funny to take that picture that day, we're all not just focused on the continent we're on. We have a desire to change the world. And I think the world's worth changing. And I think if you have eyes and you look at it, there's some things that need to be changed. And these four individuals, myself being luckily a part of that group, that's a passion.
Yes.
And so, and if you have that as your passion, retirement doesn't exist.
Now you're talking. Exactly. Retirement doesn't exist. It's just like, why should it? Yeah.
No.
It's just like, yeah. It's like,
I was
okay.
meeting.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I was meeting with some friends who, were successful. We were at a gathering in Lake Tahoe, and we were chatting. And one guy says, "So, Ron, when are you going to retire?" And I go, "Never." He goes, "Wow." I said, "I love what I do." And he says, "Well, then you're retired."
Yeah. That's right. You retired long ago.
Yeah, I said, it's because he felt if you're happy what you're doing, that's sort of where you want to go as a retired person.
Yes.
And unfortunately, most people do retire, die faster than those who don't.
It's very much, just so much. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I 1000% agree with that. It's just like, it's such a, it's like when they retire, they're trying to keep themselves alive, instead of just being alive. Yeah,
Exactly.
And I definitely don't want to run into that trap, and nobody does. We want to all. We'd like to return to the time when we were 5 years old, 6 years old, and being kids and being crazy and having a lot of fun. The world was a big adventure in front of us. Yeah, which it always is. It doesn't change. It still is. But it's just that viewpoint.
Exactly, and I find if I align myself with people of that perspective, I get more energy. No one says, slow down. No one says, hey, what about blah? They push in the direction of go do more.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's important. That's really important.
Yeah, that's right. It is. Yeah. Yeah. Not take it easy. You should be sitting at the club in the air conditioning and having a cold drink, and just have an afternoon sleep.
Yeah, I had my youngest daughter.
Hey, I'll see you next lifetime, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. My youngest daughter, who's in the high position in Los Angeles, she says, "Hey, Dad, when are we going to run that marathon together?" And I was in Japan at the time. And I said, "Well, when's the next marathon in the LA area?" And go, "Well, you got 30 days to get in shape." I go, "Well, I don't know that I'll have 30 days to. I've run a lot of marathons, and 30 days is." I said, "But I'll run the half, and I'll support you running the rest." Yeah. So I flew in from Japan, and then we got into Dodger Stadium, and we did our run together. But again, that's the kind of support you need. It's like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah. How long is the half?
13.2
miles.
Yeah.
Okay.
13.1, and I've run some ultra marathons, which is 50 miles.
Yeah.
But half's at 13.1.
Yeah. When you're running, do you feel like you get into the zone and you start running and just like loving the run? Yeah. My longest runs have been a 52 miler. I've helped some people run through 100 miles, but you get second winds, third winds, fourth winds, and you get in that zone, and you feel like you're never going to find the zone again, and then the zone appears. Again, yeah. It's like, whoa, this is great. Yeah. Better than breaking the sound barrier. Well, yeah, I think part of that is, and every client I have, I put them on an exercise program because of discipline, and not for health purposes. Mm-hmm. But I say if you can't run your body, which is your first organization, you can't run an organization too effectively. Yes. Wow. So you got to exercise, and I make that a prerequisite actually. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and part of the exercise process is you get your clarity on what your strategy is for the week. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, very much. It's like there's so much going on, and like got too much to do, no time to get it all done, and okay, go for a run and come back, and all of a sudden like there's tons of time and there's not that much to be done, so we get more done. That is a funny thing. Yeah, I do the same, but that's definitely I never looked at that. If you can't run your own organization, your own first organization, well then how do you expect to run organizations outside of yourself? And you've got to be able to push that organization to the max. That's exactly right. And it's a good, sometimes if you don't know that perspective, then you go, oh yeah, that's true. You go, gosh, dang it. I'm going to make sure that this thing is run properly. And I'm going to tie this into the same thing with my own company. Yes. Yeah, I agree. So when I did the business analysis last night, and I just slipped this in because the questions were like, I went, ooh, I thought, okay, let's have a look at it. It said 100 questions, and it's going to put yourself aside for like I don't know, was it 30 minutes or something like that to go through it. And the questions, some of them were like pretty tough. And I was like, but I really wanted to know, because I wanted to know what it looks like from you to look from the outside at me as a business owner. And I could definitely see weak points in what we do, and I could see our very strong points, and I could see some points which are just like, yeah, maybe not, you know. So I recommend anyone just to do the test, just for the sake of, well, it's not even a test, just to fill in the form, do the form to answer the questions of the analysis, because it definitely has got me started thinking already. And I've, after doing that, I thought I want to talk to Ron Walker. I want to. So I did see on there that you personally evaluate the form, you get it, you look at your person, and you do a personal consultation on that. So anyone wants to do that, they can definitely just go online to your website, intexectech.com, and they can just fill in the form. It's very quick to do.
Yep.
And then just like, I can feel the momentum has already started just from doing the form and filling it in. What do you look at? I don't know how many, you've probably looked at thousands of these when you've seen the results of them. It's obviously like a graph, or it's like shows you like strong points and weaker points and so forth. You pick them up, and at a glance, when you just look at it, what do you zoom in on straight away that tells you what you're looking for?
I'll give you a couple of points. First of all, when you're doing the test, it's your reality. You're doing the test from your perspective, not mine, right? Mm-hmm. Because you could be doing great, but you also know you could be doing greater. So you may score low based on what you know you're capable of, right? So yes. Quite often, if I'm looking at as we do the graph, there's a couple of points that show up commonly. I ask a question, if there's a low trade, I say, does the organization run you or do you run it? And very commonly, the person will respond saying, oh, it runs me. And I say, so how long has that been going on? And what is that like? Mm-hmm. And then the person will describe to me how many things hit their plate when they walk into the office, mm-hmm. right? And if that's been going on a long time, it can create stress. And it can affect your ability to observe the correct strategy for your future. So that needs to be addressed. The other part that is not uncommon is finding the right teammates. The ruin in most companies, large or small, is how to hire the right people and create great teams. It's a weakness.
Yes.
Very, very common weakness. The other area of that is left out and omitted quite often is actually training the staff when you bring someone in, making sure they're hatted properly in regards to how to be a professional at that position. No matter what the resume says, making sure they actually are owning what you're desiring for the company and helping them get stronger and stronger and more professional.
Yes.
And then marketing is also weak, but if there's a couple of points there, just to give you a perspective, let's say 2 or 3 points are a bit low. I go over the subject of income lost, not made.
Yeah, that's the big one. That's the big one. It's gone forever.
Absolutely. Like, yeah. It's not uncommon. Let's say the company's making, let's just give a figure of $1 million, could be $10 million. Well, if 2 or 3 of those points are low, they're losing 20 to 30% of their potential revenue. Mm. And when I say, I did an analysis on a company in Japan, and very successful, one of the most amazing companies actually, great owner, great Japanese gentleman. And so his son was taking over the company, and so I did the analysis, and I said, so based on what you've showed me, it looks like you're losing about 30% of your potential revenue, even though it sounds like you're doing really, really good. And I said, so your potential revenue loss is about $3.6 million per year. And I said, does that seem realistic at all? And he goes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. They were making a lot of money.
Yes.
But they also could have, you could say they were throwing money away because these areas were not actually being addressed. Mm-hmm. And that's the point of doing the analysis. It's like going to the doctor and the doctor says, well, let's do an x-ray first to make sure we're addressing the key parts of what your anatomy, where you're maybe having some problems. Yes. The x-ray, he may think it's his heart, but no, it's not his heart, it's his kidney. But he didn't know that.
That's right.
right? So that's sort of the point. You get objective to, okay, so because your answers will show, and you go, gosh dang it, I knew that. Gosh dang it, I knew that. But sometimes you get so caught up, you don't have time to really step back and go, okay, let's do something about that.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait to have a consultation with you after this, because I just thought, wow, I wonder what you're going to see. Where's my weak point? And I do tend to, in my company, I tend to think that I already know everything about everything before I even look at it, and I can be a little bit arrogantly unobservant at times, and I go, oh, I should look just a little bit closer, and then things wouldn't have gone pear-shaped, Yeah. So having that, I think just finding out, because the business is a reflection of myself, and I can't wait to see just what somebody else can see in that reflection,
It's like, so, someone outside of you, and you would do the same thing for someone else. You'd say, let's say they're working out, and you go, by the way, did you notice you're dropping your right every time this guy approaches you? You're dropping your right on your box, whatever. Yeah. And the guy goes, I thought so, but I wasn't sure. Oh, thank you for pointing that out.
Yeah. Nice.
No more knockouts on that boy.
That's right. Just like, don't drop it when you do this, okay?
Yeah, the boxing of life.
Yeah, the boxing of life. It really is. It's like we do martial arts, we do boxing, we do these wrestling, whatever the martial arts is, and how do we apply it to life? And be bigger in life. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a book sometimes I'll use. In Japan, they use it quite often. It's called Art of War by Sun Tzu.
Yes.
And a great book on every area of life, not just the business world, or not just obviously in a war situation, but in life, on every area. And if you can embrace that concept, which is quite something, you go, oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think I need to read it. I recently finished 1984, and I'm fed up with the world looking like 1984, so I think I need to go. The Art of War will be a good next read to follow from that.
There you go. Yeah, a good friend of mine actually translated the transcript of the native language of Sanskrit and rather than English, so it can be understood a little bit more effectively.
Yes. Yeah, gorgeous. I'm really looking forward to having a consultation with you. I'm going to take it up, and it's on your website, so you've advertised it. Anyone wants to take up this business analysis, if you're a business owner, it took me, I think, 20 minutes to go through. It was quite easy, very clear questions, and I can't wait to do the interview. So I'll put the link in the description, and anyone can just follow that through, and hopefully you're going to get a whole lot of, I hope you're not going to be too flat out with all of these consultations, but that's a good thing too. It's going to be the more the merrier, and the more we get that SMILE formula.
There you go. Yeah, I think whether it be business or whatever, the four of us each have different sort of perspectives on what we do, but we do a common thing is let's make life brighter.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
And more people making it brighter.
Yes. Yeah, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I won't pretend that I already know all there is to know about it before we start talking about it, because I want to hear what you say.
Absolutely. My honor.
Well, thank you. So, Ron, like talking to you, like you're a businessman, you've got all the answers. It's very easy to look at another business and to straighten them out and to get them winning and give them the future and so forth. So it's kind of hard for me to ask you this question, but has there been any time in your life when you found yourself backed up against the ropes and you found you had no choice, but you had to fight your way out of there?
I think anybody that's been down the road, for me, it's not just one time, but there's a number of points where one, I was fortunate. I grew up in a great environment. My father did well in business, and I chose a discipline that was different than being a businessman at that moment. Was in college, but I was looking for knowledge that would make. I grew up in a very upper middle class world, and in that upper class world, what I found, or I noticed that most people were considering valuable was objects, houses, cars, the best of the best. And my parents were right in that game. Nice people, really nice people. But when I looked at society, I was going, well, I'm not sure we're getting there that way. I'm not sure we're actually achieving what we want to achieve. So my father invited me, say, hey, look at, I know you're not doing that. You're in college, you're scrambling for finances. It's like, you can take over that business. It's there for you. It's done. It's handled. and while I was scrambling to pay my rent for my small little house with my, 6-month-old wife, I said, no, can't do it. I am not going to give up my search for an easy way. And my father was very, he says, look I'm fine, but I want you to know that you would do well. And I think you could be a contributor to, not only the business, but, the little community that we had. I said, I'm sure it's true. And most of the people I know that I grew up with have stayed there, but that's not my journey. And so the journey was, eating a lot of vegetables and some good brown rice and, basically moving towards getting a more comprehensive understanding of improving the condition of our world, basically. So that was one moment where I was given a choice of check, cash, or figure out your rent.
Yeah, and you figured it out.
Well, but again, it is not comfortable. It's not a comfortable thing. I mean, comfort is not, I've never thought of life as a comfort, ever. I'm comfortable in being uncomfortable. And that's not true for a lot of people. It's like it's almost like, unfortunately, I think we get sold on be comfortable. When in fact, we need to get to be the point where we're uncomfortable, but we know we're going in the right direction. And that sometimes is a bit of a tough road. It's like you get the idea that you're out in the adventurous, you're a scout looking for new territory, and sometimes you don't have food to eat, and sometimes it's cold at night, but you got to find the course to really make sure that you're making your right choices as a scout. So you do what you got to do to find the right path.
Wow, that's pretty cool. I don't know how many people would have. Well, I think there are. There's a lot of good guys in this world.
Oh yeah.
And I know that's happened before, where their fathers offered them everything, and they've gone, you know what, Dad, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yeah.
And as a father, I don't think there's anything more you could wish for your children to be able to say that to you.
Right. I mean, there's a fellow in America his name's John Muir, and he's a fellow that basically protected a beautiful, beautiful location called Yosemite Valley. And he actually walked to this valley, through days and nights, and then contacted the President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, and got him to approve protecting this land for the future generations. Talk about a tough, willing, a guy that's had to go through an amazing physical confront and then fight for the future of our fellow man. And now people from all over the world go to this particular location and just breathe and come to peace with Mother Nature. But it's sort of like that's true of anything, whether it be the physical location or knowledge or whatever that might be. So, I'll just give you another one on the ropes. So in life, sometimes we get fooled. And when you get fooled, there's going to be consequences. So when you get fooled, like let's say that you connect up to somebody who is just sharp, just suave, just, smooth. That he knows, and he sways you. and you don't realize you've actually been swayed. And you go down this road and you go, oh my gosh, I'm in the wrong camp. I'm actually letting this person who is actually only selfish, but I thought he was for the greater good, and then draw a line in the sand and say, I'm not going down this road no more. And when you draw a line in the sand and you've been in an agreement with the other line, people on the other line, people don't like you. Because, hey, wait a minute. And I think in life, you know, if I go to businesses or corporations, I say, have you ever been associated with someone who didn't necessarily align with really helping you achieve your goals in this company? Inevitably, persons raise their hand, they go, absolutely. Well, absolutely for me as well. And it's like, okay, what was the price to pay? And in the embarrassment of going, you know, I was fooled. I actually was fooled. And, you know, you open your eyes a little more and you go, okay, good. I'm going to be smarter, more patient to make sure I align myself with honest hearts and people that actually want to achieve a better purpose and not out for their vested interest. So, and I don't know that anybody hasn't been on the ropes with that one. I mean, honestly, nobody.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, I've associated with people all over the world, and that subject comes up, whether it be relationships or a business adventure or some gimmick or whatever.
Sounds like a fast way to get a quick success with someone that sounds so genuine and so certain, and next thing you know, you find yourself in a beautiful trap.
Exactly, and I mean, everyone's got, you know, I mean, it's, unfortunately, there's some very exciting invitations out there that can take you down the river in the wrong direction. And you say, well, I think I better relook at that. And it's interesting because how many people actually now I don't help them not go down that river.
Yes.
On either relationships or business or on quote unquote special projects.
Yeah, being able to actually really learn which people to trust is a certain skill that is probably the most valuable skill out of all of the trade and business skills that we learn, is learning to actually to read the people that you want to be associated with and spend your future with.
Yeah, I was reading an interesting book by a guy named Jack London, who has written a great deal many years ago, like Call of the Wild. And in this particular book he's writing, he's quite a success story all by himself and quite an adventure. And he talked about in this particular book how he went up to a painting and he saw this painting was beautiful, just beautiful painting. And when he got close to it, he noticed that he couldn't see any differentiation. But only when he got back and looked at the painting could he actually see the painting. And he thought, God, what's wrong with me? But that's life.
Yeah.
You sometimes get so close to it, you can't see it. If you back up, aha. Now I can see the life that I'm running and the life that I need to run and make sure I'm participating properly. It takes a lot of discipline to look at the painting properly.
It does. Just to say, hang on a sec. Let's just step back. My wife is very good at doing that. And a number of times it's taken a while to say, Michael, just come back here. Come on, come back here. Come back here and have a look from back here, you know? No, it's great. It's great. Everything's going to be fine. She says, please just come back here and have a look for me, you know?
And that's also one of the tricks, if I think life is finding a right partner.
Yes.
Just back up. Come on, you know, and I fortunately, my daughters are that way, and so is my wife, similar to Maureen. It's like, okay, so I got it.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily agree with that. And you go, well, okay. After 25 years, I learned that she's pretty much right.
Yeah, that's right. You married the right girl, not someone that just goes, yes, dear.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah, no, she's definitely not a yes. But she also is on the same path of let's be more, let's contribute more with more wisdom than just going down the river.
Yeah. Ron Walker, what is your message to the world?
Guys, let's put our shoulders together embrace the world we're in and help others through the process and actually get that balance and be successful, but do it for the reason of, that not only to make your resources and your finance better, but reach out to others and help your fellow man.
Well, thank you so much. This
My
is
honor.
an incredible interview, and the icing on the cake for the 4 big legends, the awesome foursome. Thank you so much for making the time, and I just appreciate it. I've learned so much from you guys. I can't believe it, and thank you.
Thank you for this. Thank you for doing it.
Okay, Ron, we'll talk real soon.
You got it. Cheers, mate.
Grab a bite to eat or whatever you need. We'll be back really soon with part 2.
How you doing?
Doing really good, actually. Yeah, doing awesome. Got some adventures sort of planned out for the next 20 years. Yeah, I've been watching you guys, and I think, man, like we've got, I'm 54, Maureen's 53, and I figure we've got a 20-year sort of production plan hitting into now. It's good. It's suddenly come about after meeting you guys. You know what I mean?
Life is an interesting journey, and I may have mentioned to you, but I consider this life an internship on how well you can do on each of the areas of your dynamics thrust, right? And how, health, knowledge, wisdom, relationships, family, groups, mankind, care for living things. How do you care for the physical universe? How do you increase your expansion as a spirit? And embracing, being responsible. Mm-hmm. When I think of that 8th area, I think of the bottom line is responsibility.
Wow, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, because then we're looking at the future. Yeah, more than just tomorrow.
Well, yeah. In fact, not just looking at it, but actually predicting it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's no one else in charge.
That's right. They're fighting for what they can get here and now, But hang on, let's put something out there a few decades in front. Yeah.
I just did a grand opening or a anniversary for a Japanese lady with, she embraced plants coming from Japan, and she is been in business for 48 years.
Nice.
So we just did her anniversary, and her use of plant life to help people go up more effective in life, whether it be in the corporate office or at their homes. And she's done an incredible job.
Wow, so she just helps to fill the environment with plants and more to enhance the area, yeah?
Yeah, using plant life to improve the life of either the office or corporation or their own living space.
Wow, that's beautiful. Well,
yeah.
We've got our balcony at the front here, and big open balcony, and we've got pots all the way through there. And
Nice.
a few times a week, we just go out there and just take care of our babies and make sure they've got nothing. Some hot weather coming, we make sure the water's stocked up and there's mulch, and you see the new life come through. It's very cool. Cut them back when they get too big, give them a haircut.
Yeah, nice. You got to touch those plants. There's a concept in Japan called forest breathing, where they go in and it's forest bathing, and you embrace the rocks, the streams, the forest, and calm yourself down and grant life to the environment, and the environment will grant life to you.
It's true. I noticed that when I don't know, I can remember being about like 12 years old, maybe 12, 13, something like that. My dad, I was the oldest son, so he'd always be pushing me to do the yard. I was the one that had to do the yard, you know?
Yeah.
And I can remember a few times the grass would be mowed, the edges would be done, and all the pavers, it was raked all out. It was just like, and it was just such a great feeling. There was this sort of, I couldn't even, like, you could feel like a vibration or a hum sort of come off it all, and you just felt like sitting there in the tranquility of that. And I was like, I remember I was like 12 years old, 13, and I was just like, wow, this just feels good. It just felt good. And that was the thing then that started to drive me to do the work, because I just get in the garden, and then I ended up building the whole back garden and paving and setting the whole house up for Mum and Dad. That was my thing. Dad would come out and he'd say, "Good job, son." But that feeling was just, it's irreplaceable. I still do it now. I go up home and up the lake house and just do some work there, and that's the thing that drives me, that feeling that you get afterwards when the garden's all clean, the lawn's right, and it's got that feeling when you just had a haircut, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's your art piece.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it's alive, and you can see it's gonna change over the next week and the next 2 weeks, and then you've got to trim it again. It's very cool. It's a relationship.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. And it's actually a significant awareness to be aware of that.
Yeah.
It's not common.
That's right. I remember my oldest boy told me the same thing one day. He said, I'm mowing the lawn, and I just like, at the end of it, I just felt really good, you know, like, nice. Yeah, what goes on a Sunday night going into Monday? In Australia, people live for the weekends. It's just a culture, and it's we just live for the weekend over here. Friday is just the best day of the week. Saturday is great. Sunday sort of unwind, and then we go home. Monday tomorrow, and then we've got to face Monday again. What goes on in your universe on a Sunday night and going into Monday? What's it like?
Well, for me, actually, I don't break it down into 5 + 2 = 7. I grew up in a world that was like that. It was basically 5 and 7, and usually on the weekends was where sports occurred. We played Saturday and Sunday in sports, mostly Saturday. But in my life now, I don't calculate 7 days as my journey. It's sort of like, okay, good. What do I want to do? When do I want to do it? When do I want to actually go out into the woods? When do I want to climb that mountain? And then I coordinate accordingly with the family, right? But I don't think of Sunday and Saturday and Sunday as days off. I don't have days off. I have how many days on?
7 days on a week.
Again, it's not even that I have 7 days on, yes. But it's like, what area of life do I have on that day?
Yeah.
Right. And Mondays, quite often I'll take advantage of saying, because people are caught up sort of to catch up from Friday. Well, that's an opportunity for me to escape, to do my executive planning in the forest. And so I do. So Vicki and I will take off and we'll hike into the woods early Monday morning, and have a nice little lunch in the mountains, and then come back and embrace as the other organizations have calmed down a bit and now they're ready to reanalyze, then that's where I can engage with them.
Wow, that's beautiful. I've been working on Mondays for the last couple of years. I've been working with Maureen and just said, look, I want to make Monday the best day of the week.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of concept. And it's not like, oh, I've got to get ready for work again and here we go, round one. Yeah. And I've also been trying to set up my finance so that the money arrives on a Sunday, ready for Monday, not waiting till the end of the week, sort of just reversing that cycle that we just work week to week for. And I've been setting up so the Monday arrives on a Sunday, and then which is Monday over here kind of thing, Sunday, Monday, and then Monday is just a great day, and maybe Monday is the day to tune up my surfing and get out in the ocean and feel the ocean. Yeah.
I think it's important to cause your week rather than the week causes you. Because you can get so much, unfortunately, there's sort of an agreement that this is the way it is. And I think at some point you got to go, no, this is the way it is. This is how I'm going to cause it to be most valuable to the people I can help.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah. So, we have part of the internship,
Yeah, that's right. So when you said this lifetime as an internship, like moving forward, for what's the full-time profession that this leads into?
Say that one more time.
You said that this lifetime, you treat this lifetime as an internship. So what does this internship lead into for you?
Basically doing a very effective and productive job on every one of the areas of my life, whether it be one, have a healthy long-term life, two, have a healthy long-term relationship with a spouse, have a healthy long-term relationship with the children that we have, grandchildren as well, help them have a great, strong knowledge of life so they can be adventurous themselves, then actually help as much as we can from our groups that we've created to help mankind themselves. And then basically how effective are we at doing that? And are we cleaning up the environment? Because it happens that the environment we live in today, unfortunately we've mismanaged Mother Nature. So my participation is when I run to the river from my house, I get involved with cleaning up the river. Things like that. Or if I go to Mount Everest, help bring garbage down off the mountain.
There's rubbish up there.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, unfortunately there is. People leave things where they shouldn't leave things, and therefore we have to bring it back down. And there's a great campaign up there, like a volunteer group that is really doing that as one of their projects, which is fantastic. So along with that, and also taking more effective care of our own physical world. Sometimes you get, and I think as pioneers, you could say we sort of went, well, we can dump oil where we want to dump oil, not make a big deal, it's not a problem. But as you begin to embrace the life you have, you go, oh, we shouldn't be doing that. We actually shouldn't be doing that. We should actually not be doing that. So what can we do to change that operating basis? Right, and then bottom line is help make sure we have intelligently knowledgeable people that can think with what would be the greatest for people, what would be the greatest thing. And part of our job is to educate the children, because our children are the future. And right now, in general, we're doing a poor job of it.
Yes, agreed.
In general. So unfortunately, with my wife and myself, it's been, we've been fortunate that we embrace that piece, and now our children are sort of mimicking that with their own children. Good, which is nice.
That's really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a challenge being a father. I found it has its absolute ups and downs. And I can remember watching my parents and seeing the challenges they had with us, and there's one time that I said, that's not going to happen to me. I'm not going to have this kind of trouble with my children at all, And it's just like this is like welcome to being a dad, you know.
Yeah, because life wants to get you caught up in it versus you control it. So you sometimes you may want to do something, but all of a sudden you quote unquote don't have time for it.
That's right.
And you're the only one that's going to make time for it. So it's like, okay, interesting. So then you have to pick your priorities. What would be most important in raising a child? And then what effect would that have on the future race? And at that point you go, okay, but I'm going to make that a priority because I think that when I look at it, it would be a very valuable thing. Versus, I just want to go play tennis. I just want to, do the golf course. I want to be with the boys or whatever it might be. And that doesn't mean you couldn't do those things, but you definitely have to make a choice.
Yes, yeah, that's right. I have a balance where you've earned the day to go and play golf because the other areas have been taken care of. Right.
Yeah, the discipline factor. I mean, you mentioned earlier that we wanted to talk about when you're on the ropes and the environment says to you, make money, prosper. It's almost invites you to be selfish in its own way. And then you get pushed to the ropes and you have to make a choice and you got to go, okay, so what is the greatest thing to be doing actually versus your own maybe needs?
I wanted to see how you view a Sunday, because it is, like, personally for me, it's been a challenge for me too. I noticed a while back that Monday was the day of the week that I just dreaded, Monday again so fast. And instead of like trying to make the weekend even better or whatever, I thought, well, how can I solve it? How can I solve Monday? Not to make it as good as the other days. Let's make it the best day of the week. Yeah, and I think that's something. It's because we control our own time and our own business. I think that's something we can quite easily do. And setting up the week at the end of the week could also be a part of setting up the guys so that Monday they're all planned out. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know that they actually don't contact me on a Monday. They just show me what they're made of.
Yeah, all my clients send me their strategy either Friday night or early Sunday morning.
Yes.
I say take the time where it's quiet and you're not bothered by anything. Look at what products you want to achieve for the week. Put them in a plan with the time frame. Send them to me, and you're ready to go.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Don't let the week run you. You want to control your environment. You do not want to be in a position where your environment's controlling you.
Great. Yeah, and I think what about when you've got a like you've got to have a schedule to keep the schedule in for the company, and so like we have our weekly meetings at 1:00 on a Thursday each week. We have different schedules we've got to keep for our production. You find that once that, like keeping that fresh all the time, so that it's not like, oh, suddenly I've committed to this schedule, now I have to do the schedule. Any tips on keeping that schedule fresh each week and keeping it so that it's a new unit of time every week?
Yeah, I think the key on that, from my experience, is make sure you embrace your original purpose, and make sure then you make that fresh message to your staff, and make sure you connect them with your purpose, because it's funny. It's sort of like as you move through day after day, year after year, it can become normal.
Yes.
And the freshness of that, sort of like waking up when the sun rises, you go, oh my gosh, that's what you have to bring to your team. Because the team, we're in charge of making sure they don't fall asleep, even if their eyes are open. And so we got to make sure we are awake. And sometimes for me, it's waking up at 4 a.m. and going out for a little walk, watching that, in a sense, sun come up. It's quiet. There's not a lot of traffic. Okay. Now let's go. And that's for some people. Even like with Bruce, he writes way into the night.
Yeah.
You know? It's a great time to create, actually.
I'm the same. That's when I heard Bruce's schedule, I was like, that's my schedule. When I go to Florida and I see my boy, and that's my schedule over there. I'm like, I get up about 11:30, and I have brunch, a really big, and then I'll work it through until you'll find me in the gym at 4:00 in the morning. I've just finished at 4:00 in the morning. I'm at the gym. I've fully had a big workout. I come back, a shower, a bit of nice music, and then a couple of bright ideas, jot them down, I get to sleep in every single day of the week.
Yeah, but that creativeness is so key.
Yeah.
You know, that basically makes the art, the living, you know, your life an art form.
Yes.
And that's so crucial.
Yeah.
So well done to you on doing that.
Thanks, Rohn. Thanks, Rohn.
Absolutely.
So what's it like where you live over there? You guys close to the forest there? You go up and you're right up against the forest, or you have to drive a bit to get there?
To what?
To the forest. Are you guys close?
It's interesting. First of all, we live close to the river.
Yes.
So I could actually, early this morning, like 6 this morning, dark out. So I go up a little hill down to the river, and then I just go up the river. Mm. So for me, I don't have to go very far to actually embrace Mother Nature, the river, the forest, etc. But if I want to really go out in the backcountry with my wife, she loves the backcountry, so it's an hour and a half.
Yep.
And then, but we're out in the backcountry. Mm. So in 30 minutes, we're very isolated.
Yeah.
Which is, wonderful.
I was amazed at we did the road trip from Santa Monica Boulevard up to Portland, up the coast road there.
Yeah.
I just had the idea that America is just like completely housed out, and there might be a Grand Canyon and stuff, but that's what you see over here on the television,
Right.
I couldn't believe the expanse, and the coast isn't heavily populated. They've done well to keep the national park all the way through the coast there. They haven't pushed all the housing on there, which is very different to Australia. The east coast of Australia is housing pushed all the way onto the coast, all the way up to from Victoria all the way up to Queensland. And it's very hard to get a bit of coastal land, but I was just amazed that there's only a very few small areas on the coast there, and there's nature everywhere. I'm like, whoa, there's more. The coast has got more nature than Australia's got,
Yeah, our coast from Carmel to Big Sur to all the way from Santa Monica up to Oregon, they're gorgeous.
Yeah, it was definitely.
I'm glad you got a chance to enjoy that.
Yeah. Well, we're lucky. Like Liam was holiday time, and he flew down to LA and met him there, and then we were lucky enough we flew over to the Bahamas for a week. That was cool. We just were able to do that, and then we flew back again to LA, and just one night got ourselves a big giant, one of those big 4-wheel drive cars.
Right.
It was a big Dodge or it was a big Cadillac. That's right, big Cadillac. And I had to learn how to drive this giant thing. And we just took our time and just cruised up the coast. It was the best time. It was such a fantastic time to spend together,
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, my wife and I were just over at Half Moon Bay, which is, you probably went right through there. Great beaches, great surfing. Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful area. And if you ever come over to America in the near future, have you gone to Yosemite yet?
Sorry?
Have you been to Yosemite yet?
No, I haven't.
Okay. So you just contact us. We'll take you for a great, couple days in the backcountry.
Yeah. Oh, well, don't worry, I'll be there.
Yeah, it'll be a moment you'll never forget.
Wow, it's something special, huh?
Oh, yeah. You when we found Yosemite, which is a long time ago, I mean, every year we take all the kids.
Yeah.
And again, everybody, they find peace. Yeah. Rejuvenate them.
Wow. Yeah, mine's like I pull out of Sydney. We just go somewhere. Normally, we're just Sunday. We just go to different. There's so many like national parks around here. You can go for these bushwalks and stuff. And at the end of the day, we're both different people. And when you can
But
get,
I love your park. You have some wonderful parks.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah,
I walked through many of them and swam in the by the opera house there. It's like, oh my gosh, fantastic.
yeah,
Or Bondi Beach.
yeah. We went for a swim down Bondi. Yeah, yeah. That's probably the most crowded beach in the whole of the country. You know.
Yeah. I got a chance to experience the Riptide there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We're just doing a hotel on the south side there. And it's one of it's like the Grand Budapest Hotel on the southern end of Bondi there. It's actually a big retirement home. And I was on the top there and I had my guys over the edge. We're just doing the top section of this building. The guys are on the edge and we're looking down on the Bondi beach and it was just absolute paradise. The water was just like turquoise blue and there's plenty of room for everyone. It was middle of the week. There's plenty of people on there, but there's a lot of room there and the water was just pristine. And it was funny looking down because you're thinking, oh God, it's so, to be down there would be amazing. But when you're down there on the beach, it's a different view. They can't see how beautiful it is down there actually, you know?
Right. Yeah, it's backing up from life.
Yeah. It's just like Sydney's amazing. It is. It's so many. I never run out of places I haven't been before. In this city area, it's incredible. So very lucky to be sort of working out of here. But we do want to spend a lot more time overseas. Yeah, and just do some more traveling and reaching out and get to see some of the places because it's there's so much to be seen.
Yeah, I think that's also, the more that we can embrace life, we'll get wiser to pass it on to other people and other generations.
Yeah. My daughter and her husband, a fiance, Jolie and Mark, they spent 2 years traveling the world. And they did a full, you can see them the way overland. And they've got about 30,000 followers. So they're fairly popular. And they just drove. They got this crazy four-wheel drive, a Toyota Land Cruiser four-wheel drive. They call it the Troopy because it's the troop carrier, And it's got solar. It's got everything on it. It's got a pop-up rooftop. And they literally drove from Ayers Rock all the way up through Asia and across and through India and Pakistan and everything like that. And
wow,
at the top end of China. And they documented the whole thing with these episodes. And I was looking at Maureen. I told Jolie when she was about 16, I said, get out of here, go travel, get out of Australia and just have a look. Go and have a look at somewhere, And she hasn't stopped.
Wow, that's fantastic.
And when I was seeing these adventures, I was like, oh, wow, that's it. Look at these guys are doing it. Like they're showing us how to do it, Well,
you did great job, Dad.
That was pretty special.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Special moment.
Thank you. Yeah, it's good. I thought, okay, I did something right.
You very much did. Very much.
Yeah, awesome, man. But look, thanks for spending your time with me over. It's Saturday afternoon over there, yeah.
We're just we're now right now. I have a few more projects to do. Finish up the opening or the anniversary over at this Japanese ladies company.
Yeah.
And then when my wife will go and I will go for a little walk on the river.
Beautiful way to spend the rest of the weekend. Well, thanks again. So thanks for this interview. It's been the icing on the cake for the Godfathers of Good, and this is going to go a long way. It's like it's come out of non-existence for so many people. So many people are asking about it. I think now we can actually really put together what this message is going to carry. Yeah, and I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again really soon on the ropes. Yeah.
Hey, buddy, you got it. Thanks for your help, and I'm here for you if you need to bounce something off me. Have a great day.
You'll be bouncing. Thank you.
Hey, buddy. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was great, mate. That was like every time I tell you, I've been with Bernard and Artie and John Trimmer Wolf, and I go back to my wife and I walk in the door and I'm like in exhilaration after talking to you guys. And I think after this time we just spent this morning over here, afternoon over there, I could really spot what it is. It is that when you help someone else and you really help them, what you get back from it it's just exponential. That's the energy of helping somebody else. And I couldn't quite define it. I could sort of, where is it? What is it? And that's exactly what it is. Help, and nothing else than just pure help for the sake of it.
Exactly right.
Yeah. So I do want to look in that area when we do this consultation. I hope we can make an appointment for it today, possibly.
Sure.
And, yeah.
Would you like to do it now?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
Let's just do it now. You want to take your jacket off? Get a piece of paper?
Yeah, I've got paper here. I'm fine. I'm ready to go. I can. Yeah.
Just grab it as we can.
Yep.
Do you have a copy of it by chance?
A copy of the
graph?
No, I don't. Don't show. No, I don't have a copy of it yet. Yeah. So if you email that back to me, or did it come from? I'll
get it scanned to you. Unfortunately, Kathy's not right this second, but
that's okay. Yeah.
But here, if you can look at this, can you see this at all?
Now go back towards you more. Take it right back. I can see my name. That's all. But the graph, you probably got to pull it back here for the camera to see it. Oh, look, I'm in affluence. That's a production graph, is it? See on the right-hand side there, I'm on affluence. That's beautiful. My God. So I've got 2 points above the line. Three points above the line. One's on the line.
So what I'm going to do, just because I think it would be better for you to have this,
yes.
Let me just give you a perspective. So if you look at this graph,
yep.
This is basically addresses the org board.
Yes.
Right? Long-term planning, organization, personnel.
Yep.
Repeat sales, organization.
Yep.
Quality control, marketing, stress, basic principles, and health.
Yes.
Okay. So that's what this shows. Now, it's based on your reality. So you may be doing great, but you also may be aware that you could do better.
Mm.
So you would score according to that. Mm. Someone who actually is doing okay, but they think they're doing great.
Yes. They
would be across the top, but it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So I immediately go, unfortunately, you could actually take the test, quote unquote, dishonestly.
Yep.
And I go,
I passed the test.
Yeah. So I tell that person, I say, if you want, you can redo the test, but do it honestly.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it's a waste of time.
Oh no, that was like 100% on every question. Like I just said, this is where I'm at now, and I don't like. I just like, what is it now? It's there, and that's good. I can actually see. Well, I like the fact that it looks like it's in an affluence at the end there, even though that's.
Well, a couple of things.
It'd be a good graph if that was a statistical graph. That'd be a bloody good graph, wouldn't it? I'd be happy with that.
There's no question. It's a great graph. And I'm sure you are doing well. Did you take this test based on the company you run with regards to being outside skyscrapers?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that one there, because it does consume the most of our time, and we've got all of our finances tied in with that, and our responsibilities and our debt that we manage, and properties and our trust and everything, and traveling. Everything does depend on the income from that. We don't really make, other than some rental incomes, we don't really make any other external income.
Gotcha.
So, so that was definitely in relation to that. And Maureen and I, we've been working together in that since 1998. So 22 years together in the business. And sometimes we're just fed up, and just had enough and don't want to talk about it. And, and feel that we should be doing something else. But then we've got so much talent in this area just to like to drop it and take no responsibility for it, it's not really the way out. But we can't see the way out to the way that we want to really go in life. You know, Maureen, for example, she had this really good idea that she wants to help people in Taiwan learn English, and the way she does it is she does M7 on learning how to learn.
Mm.
And she went over and she piloted it last year before Christmas. She went over there for a month, and she just picked up a few students, and she did learning English, but just using the learning how to learn book. And one for one, they got about a third of the way through the book, and they just stopped and gone, oh my God, I'm reading English. They're like, wow. They're just completely blown out. And it's a ruin. It's such a ruin in there. So she's like, I've never seen her say VGIs. You know, she's negotiate, causes a certain superpower. I never ever seen her say VGIs when she was doing that, just for that period. And I'm going, well, how can we work out to do that and somehow solve the financial sort of trap we're in? Like you're talking about these guys in New York, they earn $1 million. I think we get about probably, I don't know, we get $500,000.
Yeah.
But we just woven up in this financial trap, you know? Yeah.
Maureen, is she from Taiwan?
Yeah, she is. Yes.
Yeah. So fluent in Chinese?
Yeah. So she does, when she does it, learning how to learn, she does it in English.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Chinese people. And I asked her, would it work the other way? And she's like, she doesn't know if it'll work the other way. It probably would, but she couldn't get the concept of it. I said, well, if it works the other day, maybe we could do it the other way and you could teach me. And she's like going, but it's different. It's a different thing, you know? So
my youngest son is in Thailand, and when he went over there, he worked for me in the mission, helped me open up Thailand.
Yes.
Then he created his own curriculum to teach English as a second language to the Thai people.
Yes.
And he became fluent in Thai himself.
Yes.
And now he has about 4,000 students a week. They're in high schools, colleges, but it's a needed and wanted for sure. And depending on how big you want to do it, I mean, we're working with another fellow in Japan to bring it into the Japanese world. But I hear you on, you know, trying to, figure out, okay, so how do you keep the bacon coming in?
Yeah.
Add some other things so that you don't get stuck on that issue. Yeah,
that's right. And all of a sudden another 10 years slips by, you know, and I go, wow, we're still trying to break out of it. And yeah, so it'll be interesting. I'd love to just put everything on the table. And I've spoken to a few guys in the past, and Artie Marin had a good bit of work with us about a decade ago, and we had a really good affluence after that, you know. But we just haven't cracked it. That's all.
Yeah,
haven't cracked exactly to what we're doing in our lives is what we want to really do in our lives.
Right.
Yeah, and totally. And I just, if we could both get that, and we're both full of ideas, and we're both got a lot of energy and a lot of activity, and you know, we're a really tight couple. Haven't found that happiness in business.
Yeah. I love the Taiwanese people. I tolerate the Australians, but I really love the Taiwanese people.
Australians are a pain in the neck, mate. Yeah. Aussies are hard to help, mate. My God, they're tough.
As you know, Mary Zintel is my ED.
Yes. She's amazing.
And Mary, so anyway, I went to Australia in an odd way because I wanted to meet everybody that wanted to help all of Asia.
Yes.
So that's how I ended up in Australia. But I love Australia. I call Australians in my mind are ARC-ful New Yorkers.
Oh yeah. I think so.
I always love someone tries to manage in Australia, and I'll get a call from an American that's trying to manage Australia, and the guy called me up. He says, she told me to fuck off. And I said, well, have you ever managed in Australia? And he goes, no. And I go, well, you got to go in the back door. Never go in the front door.
Yeah.
How can I help?
Yeah.
Here, Mike, here's a suggestion because I got to go on to do another webinar here.
Oh, good. Yep.
I would suggest have Maureen do the test.
Yeah, she's done that already. She has done it.
Okay, so have her send it. Did she send it in?
Well, she just got a mobile phone and did it right there on the phone.
Okay, so if she just emails it back to me,
Yeah.
and I'll have it scored.
Don't you press submit and it goes to you automatically? Or? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so it should be there. But I'll have my secretary scan them back to you.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
And then if it works for you, let's meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. same time.
Same time. Tomorrow's Friday would work. Tomorrow wouldn't work. Thursday's crazy. Is that the next? Is the next day? Okay.
Let me just look at Friday.
Yep. That'd be Friday for me. Oh no, that'd be Thursday for you. Friday for me. Is that right? You're a day behind us.
Yeah, that's true. So it'd be Thursday, 10 a.m. for you, 4 p.m. for me. Would that work?
So if it was 4 p.m. Thursday, it'd be 10 a.m. Friday for me.
That's right.
That's okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure. Or if you're busy Thursday and you want to do it on Friday and then we could do it Saturday, either one's fine, whichever's best.
So right now, let's go with 4 p.m. My Thursday, 10 a.m. Friday morning.
Yep, done. 10 a.m. Friday. Good. I'll just set up the Zoom just from our room at home and then we'll go from it. Yeah. This is my little private den.
Yeah.
I've got here.
Got a few tapes there, I see. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the vols all situated up, you know.
There you go. There you go.
All the book collection. I'm getting close to the PDCs. I can't wait to. Yeah, I'm having issues with a CD player at the moment. And I think it's just dramatization. That's all. But if you like, I'll have it like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just. I'm going to unplug the microphone. It might swap over, but I'm going to walk you through. If it goes out, I'll quickly walk you through the warehouse upstairs.
Good.
And then outside, have a look where we are, and then I can switch off and I'll let you run for the day.
Go, buddy.
Okay, run. So this is, I'll get from the corner here. So this is our warehouse. We've got like a kitchenette. And then you see on the wall there, we've got a stats on the wall. And then we've got an org board over in the corner there.
Yep, yep.
And then it zooms around. Got like just a conference space there. And then I'll just pull this fella up. So this is my favourite spot. I sit at the bench here.
There you go.
Here I can sort of work and I can look out the window at the city in the background. That's Chatswood City.
Yeah.
And the AO is literally a stone's throw over that way.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Love it.
And from here, I generally sit at my stool there, which I showed you, and then the guys will. The most common question asked in the whole of the company is, "Hey, Mike." And I sit down, I handle about a dozen hey Mikes, and then it calms down, and everybody gets back to work again, yeah? Yeah. But it's good, so it's a good setup. We've got three offices, 3 office rooms, which are private rooms. And then downstairs, I've got a training and logistics facility, like 2 stories downstairs. And we've got all the ropes up on the ceiling and up the walls and training for painting and rendering, that type of thing. Nice. And it could be a lot busier down there actually, but it's there. It's good. We got the facility, and we bought the place, so we can't get thrown out.
Nice.
unless we don't pay the mortgage, well then the bank will throw us out.
There you go.
Yeah, but it's good. So yeah, well that's fantastic. So in 48 hours, I'll talk to you.
Okay, look forward to it. We'll get these tests scanned over to you, and we'll meet at 10 a.m. your time on Friday, 4 p.m. Thursday my time.
Ron, thanks for the interview, mate. It's great. I was just stoked. I can't believe I got to get you guys all down on tape.
Thanks for doing what you're doing, buddy.
Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
You can find resources for Ron Walker and all of the Godfathers of Good in the description below.